welcome back to Lehigh River Subdivision. I'm Ian and this is layout update number 14. I was hoping to get this out sooner, but I've had a lot of projects going on here at the house. I did repaint the kitchen right before Thanksgiving for my wife, and then I have been working on the Christmas layout. That's for my wife and Cameron and me too. But I'll have update number 3 on that later this week. I did get a little bit done here on the layout with the tunnel and the section of the layout by the tunnel. I want to do 2 shout outs for 2 channels before we get any further. The one's New River Productions. He had 2 videos in the last month on nickel plate 765, which is the Berkshire. He volunteers at the Fort Wayne Historical Railroad Society, and he puts together some really good videos. So if you could give him go give him a look. And then the other one is Kristadecker. They do a lot of videos on regional short lines in northeast Pennsylvania or north central Pennsylvania and into New York. So you got the Finger Lakes Railway, Reading and Northern, New York, Susquehanna and Western, Lehigh and Sayre, the Ithaca Central, the Owega and Hartford. So there's a lot of neat little railroads that he gets videos of, and he posts videos usually daily or really close to daily of a lot of great regional short lines. So we're going to get into the layout update. First we're going to take a look at the new rolling stock that came since the last mail call. And then I'm going to show you pictures of the process of how I did the tunnel. And then we'll get into the layout update. So I want you to see the pictures before I go ahead and talk about how I did the tunnel. Alright, let's get into it. So the first new arrival would be the Atlas Trainman passenger car set here. It's Reading, Blue Mountain, and Northern, and it's a 5-pack. I already took the cars out, but this is the box it comes in. And here are the cars set up on the bridge with 2 of my Reading Northern locomotives. So we'll just go down along this quick so you can see the passenger cars. It has the Reading and Blue Mountain Northern lettering. Each car is numbered 300 to 305. And so all 4 of the 5 cars are the same. The last one's an observation car called the Schuylkill River. And on the back of the observation car, it says Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway. So being I had the Lehigh Gorge on the layout, I really wanted this set. It's not prototypical to their passenger cars. Maybe these ones are, but their observation car is a heavyweight. So let's move on to the next item. And then the next item we're going to take a look at is this Bachmann S4 Alco switcher. It's in the Western Maryland scheme and it's numbered 145. Jimmy over at DYI Digital Railroad held a contest, and I was lucky enough to win this locomotive from him. And I've loved this edition since I got it. I've never owned a switcher before, and I've had a lot of fun running this locomotive. I have it set up right here next to an SD78, so you can see the size difference between a switcher to a modern day locomotive. So I really like this. I haven't had a Bachmann engine in a long time, and they've really come a long way from what they used to be. And this is a really great locomotive. So thank you, Jimmy, for holding the contest, and it was an honor to win this engine, and I will have a lot of fun running it on the layout. Okay, in the last layout update, you'd seen I laid some of that foam in for that side of the curved bridge. When I had the plaster mixed up for the tunnel, I made some watery plaster to pour in here to make a a nice foundation for my bridge piers to sit onto. Moving along, I worked on this section the most, and I did get some of the mountain in. We'll take a closer look at that. I don't think, might go one or two more inches higher here, and that'll be it for that mountain. So you can see kind of rounds off, and the river will come out underneath and flow down that way. Moving along to the tunnel, this piece still lifts out because I have to do ballast and set the track in place finished. But I did show you the pictures before I got into this, showing how the tunnel process happened. So I went ahead and put railroad spikes into the foam, put the plaster on using a 5-in-1 tool by hand, and sometimes because it was just easier to put the plaster in by hand and smear it a little bit. And then I used my 5-in-1 tool because it has a little bit of a hook on it. It's like a putty knife, and I used that to drag through to make my rock cuts. And I also came back through with a hobby knife and just shaved the plaster to get my rock cuts. After that was done, I put the silicone caulking in along the edge there, and then I put the stones in on top and just pushed them in and let it set up into the silicone. And then I added those bigger rocks with super glue, and then I went ahead and painted it all one base color. Then I went back through and added a couple different accent colors to give it the appearance of how a rock cut would have different colors of stone in it. And the last step was to come through and add the water effects that you see there. So if you look down, you can see that there's some water puddling up, along the tracks and the bigger rocks there that fallen. And then you can see that it follows some of the grooves on the rocks there. I can turn the flash on it, it'll bring it out more so you can see the work I did inside there on the tunnel to finish it. So the only thing left is to fasten the track in place. I'm going to use the low temp glue gun. That way if it does have to come up, it won't ever damage it. And then I have Arizona Rock and Mineral Pennsylvania Gray ballast to put in here. And the nice thing is, if you know, I painted these tracks, the ties and the rails with burnt umber to weather them, and then I came back through and painted all that gray in between the ties. The ballast will actually cover that, and I can show you. This is just a little scrap piece of track that I've been using to protect the terminals when weathering the stuff that goes onto the layout. So I put some of the ballast on to make sure it'll cover the brown paint between the ties, and it will. The stuff is really fine, and this is supposed to be for N scale, and this is finer than the Woodland Scenic's finest ballast they sell. So just a little tip, if you're an N scale, look at Arizona Rock and Mineral. So with that being said, here to look at the inside of the tunnel with the flash on, and I'm going to turn the flash off. And there is how the tunnel looks with the flash off. And if we look at it from the other side, you're probably not going to see much because not much light comes in that way. So this is the last thing that I worked on, and it's getting this mountain through the what I call the oxbow curve, because there's an oxbow curve in the Lehigh Gorge where the river basically does a 180 on itself like that and goes back. So this mountain's to break up the scenery. Alright guys, that's going to be it for layout update number 14. Thanks for watching and your continued support. It means a lot to me here at the Lehigh River subdivision. I really enjoy being able to share my layout with all of you. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and run 2 trains here at the end of this episode. And we'll see you next time. Stay safe, everybody.